It's time for another John's Vids video presentation. Information and entertainment for the hubby, the wife, and the kids. You want more, you expect more, and you get more with John's Vids.
All right, we're evacuating the air conditioning unit. Bought this little pump at Harbor Freight Tools for like I think it was $105, $105.99, something like that, $104.99. It's a really high-rated pump, and I know with, you know, when we're talking about Harbor Freight, it's kind of hit and miss. You know, some of their stuff is pretty good, you know. But anyway, you can look online. This pump actually rates pretty high. A lot of good reviews from the customers. Little 2.5 CFM vacuum pump. It's pulling, you know, 30 pounds, 29, 30 pounds of 29, 30 HGs, I guess you call it. Now in my case, typically you want to run the red hose, which is missing, to the high pressure side, the blue hose to the low pressure side. Unfortunately in my case, the high pressure side threads on the hose are stripped and I can't get the high pressure on there. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum this down for 45 minutes to an hour. They recommend most shops recommend 45 minutes. Then I'm going to let it sit overnight and let the negative pressure sit in the system overnight to burn off any you know, remaining moisture that's in the system. It's a good idea, you know, if you're not in a hurry to get the air conditioning recharged right away, it's good to let it sit overnight. Let the moisture burn off. The negative pressure will burn off the moisture that's in the system overnight. Now anyway, gotta tell you this, once you get everything hooked up and you get started, and it goes for 45 minutes to an hour, after you disconnect everything, you know, close your gauge off and watch it for about 10 minutes. It shouldn't jump back up to zero in 10 minutes. If it doesn't hold negative pressure for at least 10 minutes, you have a leak somewhere. So, but like I said, I'm doing this a little bit unconventional because I have stripped threads on my air conditioning hose, which is the high pressure side. So to offset that a little bit, I'm going to let this, you know, I'm going to let this car sit overnight before I recharge in the morning. That'll give the negative pressure in the system a chance to burn off any moisture I didn't get through the, you know, from not evacuating properly. But I like to say I like this little pump, you know. Runs on electricity, got it plugged in over here, and kind of like it. Just wanted to, I don't know if this was very helpful or, you know, informative for anybody. By the way, you can get these little gauges, oh, you know, I think they're $45 at Harbor Freight. You know, for just a regular home user that maybe, you know, you recharge your system every now and again, you know, maybe check the pressure, you know, so forth. It's a good little set. I like it, you know, and just wanted to recommend that maybe to the home user. Okay, I'm going to sign off. Bye-bye. Back again. Don't know if I mentioned this when I first started the video. I tend to ramble a bit. Well, anyway, the ideal way to do this would be to have your, hang on a second here, I just dropped it. The red hose hooked up to the high pressure valve, you know, and the blue hose hooked up to the low pressure valve, which is right here in my case. And then opening up both of these all the way counterclockwise. Well, actually having it hooked up to the pump first. Have it hooked up to the pump, use the yellow hose, hook that up to the pump. Once you have the red hose and the blue hose hooked up to the appropriate ports on the AC system, then turn on the pump and let it run for 45 minutes. It's pretty simple, it really is. And you know, in the shops, the reason why they get you out of there in 45 minutes, you know, they'll do the evac and recharge it right away. Is, you know, they have a business to run. They can't say, hey, come back in the morning and we'll put the you know, we'll put the R134 in then when the system's completely dry. And you know, it's safe to put the refrigerant back in after 45 minutes, but it's just more optimal to leave the system, you know, let the negative pressure remain in the system overnight to burn off any moisture. Well, anyway, that'll end it. God bless everybody. Bye. All right, I let the pump run for a good hour and just shut it off. And immediately after shutting it off, I closed the gauge. I'm sorry, I closed the valve here to disconnect the flow, and it's holding negative pressure. It's still well under zero, actually 30. See the gauge there. So I'm going to watch this for 5 or 10 minutes, and then if everything if it holds up, I'm going to let it. As said, it's always best if you can let it sit overnight with negative pressure. But if you have a wife or a girlfriend that's saying, "I want cold air, I want cold," well, you might have to fill it up right away. But if you can let it sit overnight, I was kind of joking about that. But if you can let it sit overnight, that's the best thing to do. I might upload another video, showing how to recharge and everything. It's pretty simple, but you'd be surprised. Obviously, people watch these because they want to know something. So, anyway, take care. Bye-bye.